Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm building another letter build. So I'm building a family home in this case in the shape of a letter. And as you can see, I'm starting with the shape and it's going to be an M as the shape. And as you can see, I did like the basic and now I'm just fiddling with it a little bit so it fits right. And then I moved it back a little and also did the roof, and I decided to make it easy for myself and just did a flat roof. And I also decided that I would put it on quite a high foundation. As you can see, the stairs are like 5 steps, which is quite high for me. I don't usually do it that high, but I decided to branch out a little bit and do something different. And then I put 2 backyard accesses down. They aren't really backyards, they're in the front, but also they're not accessible from the front. They are only accessible through the house itself, as you will see later. And I also did a driveway, so you can see that there's like space for cars that could potentially go into the lot there, and I decided to make a round driveway into there, so potentially if there were cars, which there aren't of course, you could drive in and just drive around the fountain and go out again. And here you can see what I meant with they are only accessible through the house itself. I put hedges there, so they are separate from the front and only accessible through the house itself. And then the one side of the lot I decided to dedicate as like the relaxing area for the family, where there's a pool and a hot tub and lunch chairs. And I then moved on to the other side, and that side is more like the eating side with a grill, and of course also tables and chairs, and also some like children's playground equipment, just because the space was there and I decided that that was the optimal use for that. And I really wanted to keep the water activities together and the other stuff in the other area, just with the spacing that made the most sense. Then I went inside and I did the layout, and now I'm outside again and I'm coloring everything basically. So I decided that I would continue with the same brick that is on the floor and on the stairs, and I used that to color the whole build basically. So it's just a brick building at the moment at least, and yeah, that was the idea behind it. Now I'm putting down a bunch of windows, basically everywhere honestly, because I really wanted it to still be airy even though it's a brick building. And I think it looks a little bit high class. I don't know why, maybe it's the fancy driveway, and I really wanted to reflect that. And I think like in the olden times at least, the fact that it had a lot of windows was indicative of like luxury and stuff. And as you can see, I did the dining room, which is also quite fancy, and I put down a lot of tables with quite a few flowers as like the decorative part. I really wanted to use some carpets as like table runners, but if you move up the carpets, they don't actually move up. So yeah, I couldn't do that, sadly. But I tried with the flowers to mimic it a little bit. So there's something there at least. Then in one arch of the M, I put the kitchen, and it's a pretty basic layout. It's just on one wall. It was the only wall that didn't have either the door on it or was diagonal, so that was the only space really that could be used for that, at least in the arch. I could have of course chosen another layout, but the layout that I did choose made it impossible to do anything else. Now I'm in the guest bathroom, and I just put down basic stuff And then I moved on to the children's bathroom, or child's bathroom. I don't really remember if I put several beds in there. I think I did. And I also did the parents' bathroom, and now I'm in the parents' bedroom. And I put down bed and dressers, nightstands. I also put down a sofa, just because I had the space. And then I moved on to the children's bedroom. And I put down a toddler bed and a child/teen bed. I also put down a desk with a computer in there, just because, again, I had the space and I thought it would make sense to have that for the child. I also put down a fun carpet in there. I really like using that carpet. It's the first one that you can select, and I think it looks really cool. Then I moved to the opposite side of the whole build, and here I did the living room. And as you can see, it's quite a large living room, so I decided to also use the really large TV. I also put down a fireplace, also a quite large fireplace, the one that has a green swatch. I really like that green, I think it looks really fun. And then I moved on to the office, which I put at the end of the M, just because I thought it would make sense to have a closed room for that, and that was the only possible way to do it. And as you can see, I put down 2 desks. I also put down 2 computers for that, and 3 bookcases to fill it. And now I had space in the second arch of the M, and I decided to fill it with a chess table and also a card table, and also the drawing desk for the child. I think such spaces are always welcome for some kind of skill building item, so I always use them like that. And then I started coloring everything, so I did the flooring and also the wallpaper for the inside, because I hadn't done that yet. I wanted to choose the furniture first and then the wallpaper. Wanted to match the wallpaper to the furniture. Sometimes I do it the opposite, but oftentimes I do the wallpaper that fits to the furniture. And I also try to use the outside brick inside as well, where it makes sense, of course, because the inside walls, of course, you don't have to use the outside wall color. It isn't required in any way. And then I put down lighting, and I mostly used the ceiling lights, just because I think they are the brightest and they oftentimes make the most sense. But of course also for accents, and also sometimes it does make sense to have wall lights or floor lights, so I put those down as well. And I also put down some lights for the desks in the office and the children's bedroom, and also some lights for the nightstands in the bedroom. And now I'm in the decoration tab and moving through the different categories and putting down stuff so it looks more lived in and less staged in the home. And yeah, I'm putting down different things, some sculptures and the bird bath, for example, and some other things on the mantle of the fireplace. I also put down some shoe racks, and now I'm putting down curtains. And because I had so many windows, of course, I also needed quite a lot of curtains to cover them, and I chose those fancy looking curtains with a beige swatch. I think the beige swatch is the one that I chose most often, just because it's neutral and looks the best oftentimes. Yeah, that's why I choose it the most. Except in the children's bedroom, I often use those stripy multicolored curtains. I really like them. And now I'm putting down some decorations for the walls, some paintings, for example, and I'm just putting them on walls that don't have windows on them, which aren't many. And then I moved on to the plants, and I decided to use the plants with the terracotta pots. I really like those, but I don't like mixing them with white pots. So oftentimes you either have white pots or terracotta pots, and I don't like mixing them. And this time I chose the terracotta pots. Of course, there are other colors, but those are like the main colors that I use. And now to finish everything up, I'm doing some landscaping out front and also in the backyards, which really are front yards in a sense. And then I was finished. Now you can see some screenshots of the build. I hope you like it. You can download it from the gallery. My ID is TGGSims, same as my YouTube channel name. I also hope that you liked the video and will consider pressing the thumbs up button and subscribing. Thanks very much for watching and have a great week. Bye!